Hello everyone and welcome to another impressive game from round 4 of this year's Prague Chess Festival. The Masters section, it is Polish Grandmaster Mateusz Bartel versus the Uzbekistan Grandmaster Nodirbek Abdusattorov, who's been pretty much crushing everyone recently. Now, the news is already in the title. Nodirbek overtook Alireza as world number 5 on the live ratings list, so now the question is how it happened. Let's check it out. Mateusz has the white pieces and he opens with pawn to e4. Nodirbek opts for the Sicilian defense. We have c5, knight f3, knight to c6, and knight to c3. So waiting with the central breakthrough with d4. G6, we have d4 now, going into the, for the standard open position. We have c captures, knight captures, and bishop to g7. The accelerated dragon Sicilian is on the board. We have bishop to e3, knight to f6, and now bishop to c4. And here we have castles. And now the move you have to play here if you don't want to run into trouble is bishop to b3. If you don't play this, or you could castle, but if you rush it with pawn to f3 without playing bishop to b3 first, you will run into trouble if you find this bishop to b3 move that people are always playing weird. The problem is this queen to b6 move, just attacking the b2 pawn. And now if you defend it, now comes knight captures on e4. That's the problem, and now there's a triple attack on this knight. And once everything, even if white plays the best moves here, let's say knight e5 attacks the queen, queen a5 checks, c3, you're gonna play knight to c5 now. Knight captures on c6, d captures, and knight captures on e7. Okay, white wins back the pawn. King h8, let's say knight captures, rook captures. You've solved all of black's problems. This rook is coming here, this rook is coming here, and the black is just fine, most likely even better. So that's why people always play bishop to b3 here, if you guys were wondering. d6, and now pawn to h3. Again, pawn to f3 is the standard way, pawn to h3 just a different way of playing. Bishop to d7, castles, and now knight to a5. The idea is, of course, you want to play rook c8, a6, b5, and put this knight on c4, where you will either have an excellent knight on c4, or you will force white to capture on c4 with the bishop, as it is a very strong bishop, sort of the anti-dragon bishop. You want to eliminate it. So queen to d3, nicely developing. We have a6, rook f to e1, and rook to c8. We have rook a to d1, nicely putting the rooks on the a and d file, and b5. Now preparing knight to c4, and there are some games where knight to d5 was played. Also bishop to c1 is a known move here. Mateusz plays bishop to g5, and it is now, as of move 14, that we have a completely new game. So okay, rook to e8, and now knight to d5. Well, you can't really play e6, you would just make the bishop more powerful, the knight would be pinned. So Nodirbek captures on d5, we have e captures, also bishop captures is not out of the question. E captures on d5, as it does come with control over c6 and e6, and now knight to c4. So okay, now your b2 pawn is hanging, and unless you want to play bishop to c1, which, well, isn't all that bad. I mean, the bishop is nice here, putting sort of pressure on e7, but having the bishop pair is even nicer. But okay, he plays bishop captures on c4, b captures, and now queen to e3, and now Nodirbek throws in queen to a5. Now the a2 pawn is hanging, and also the d5 pawn is hanging. And here, the move that was played is queen to e4, just defending the d5 pawn. The move you kind of have to play here is queen to c1. And now, okay, queen captures... here, just bishop captures on e7, that's not really an issue. But after queen c1, if you play queen captures on d5, then there's knight to e6. And, well, sort of best for here is to give up the queen, or even queen captures on e6. And it's a nice game. Black has the rook and bishop for the queen. He has the bishop pair. He has the rooks here. The rooks might come to the semi-open b file. It's an equal game. So that's probably what would happen. But here queen to e4 was played, and now Nodirbek says, all right, I will have those pawns. Queen captures on a2. We have queen to h4, now with a triple attack on e7. Queen captures on b2. Nodirbek again helps himself to the pawns. Bishop captures on e7, and now pawn to h6. This is a very tricky move, as in the future, there might be some g5 possible, kicking the queen away from the defense of the knight on d4, as it's already attacked by the bishop and by the queen, and defended by the rook and by the queen. So g5 could be very tricky. But Queen to f4 was played, and now there's a problem. What do you think happened here? And also, yeah, if you go for bishop captures here, then like we've said, just rook captures on e1 and queen captures on d4. You can't really allow this capture to move the rook away from the defense of the bishop. But queen to f4 was played, and now Nodirbek is winning, but only if you find the only move that's winning, and it's not definitely not one that comes to mind first. So feel free to pause the video and win some more rating for Nodirbek while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding a really, really difficult move to find. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is bishop to a4. This is the only move that wins. And now, of course, you realize what the idea is. You're going to capture the pawn. You're going to have two passed pawns. And that is enough for any man to win the game, even your uncle. So here, knight to c6 was played. There's no defending c2, so you don't even have to try. And now bishop captures on c6. Even better, because what the idea of knight to c6 is that after you capture on c2, rook c1, and now you will have problems because the knight here is blocking the rook from defending the c4 pawn, and it could be an issue. So here just bishop captures on c6, d captures, rook captures. We have bishop captures on d6, also trying to grab a pawn but not really working. Rook captures on e1, rook captures, and now just queen captures on c2. Nodirbek is now up 2 pawns, and they are 2 passed pawns. So there is no question here to be asked. g4 was played, one last, hurrah, so to say. Rook to c8, preparing to, defend the back rank, but also just keep that rook there to help out with the advancement of the pawn. Queen f3 was played, now queen b3, and it was in this position on move 28 that Mateusz Bartel resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. So you can't really trade. If you don't trade, if you just move the queen, there's no threat that you can make. Literally nothing can be threatened, everything is defended, and the rook is just here ready to advance the pawn to victory, and there's no point in trying here. Even if this pawn was gone, you could just advance this pawn. The bishop is already guarding the queening square, so even if Nodirbek somehow miraculously blunders this pawn, he still has this pawn. So trying to play this would be out of the question. So yeah, very nicely done by Nodirbek, just showing us how the Sicilian Dragon is played. And like I said, with this win, he breaks through into the not just the world top 10, as he was already a world top 10 player. He breaks through to the world top 5. He overtakes Alireza, and with 2761 on the live ratings list, he is now world number 5, ahead of Alireza, Nepo, Wesley So, Anish, Wei Yi, Anand, Arjun, Karyakin, and so on and so on. And the next one for overtaking is world champion Ding Liren, who is only less than a point away from him. And yeah, if he wins the next game, he will overtake Ding Liren as well. And then there's only Hikaru, Fabiano, and the Magnus for the overtaking. So we could be witnessing in real time Nodirbek's ascent to 2800. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nicely done by Nodirbek. Again, definitely deserving the spot in the candidates, but there's the qualification cycle that you have to do to qualify, not just play incredible chess and have an almost 2800 rating. So maybe in the next cycle. I would like to thank Matthew Witten, Kristen is the best wife, Chris Karskadan, Don Chain YouTube, and Kerkesh Tibor for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.